All right, in this video, we're going to talk about stealing third. Stealing third's a little bit different from stealing second base, mainly because there's not somebody checking you. So, depending on how far away the second baseman or shortstop are from that base, we can extend our lead, or we have to get closer back to the bag. Another thing that's different about it is that we want to keep our feet basically moving the entire time. Okay, a lot of coaches will teach when the pitcher looks to home plate, we increase our lead. When he looks back at us, we shorten it up. I'm not a huge fan of that. But if it works, it works. If you have a really good third base coach who's talking to you a lot, you can follow his cue on being off and being back. If you've got a third base coach who doesn't like to talk a lot, that might be a good one for you. Um, the main thing is that we don't ever want to take our eyes off of the pitcher. Okay. I know that it can get uncomfortable when we get out here and we think we get a big lead and we want to check back and see what second or short's doing. But a good pitcher, as soon as you take your eyes off of him, he's going to pick you off. And it doesn't matter how far off the base you can be. You can be here, and if the pitcher looks at you and you're looking away, if I'm on the mound, I'm picking you off because you don't know that the ball's coming right now. So it doesn't matter how far off the bag you are. It only matters that you're off the bat. Okay. The idea is that if we can, we kind of want to get a rolling start into this thing. Okay. Not always going to be possible, but the most ideal situation is that so our baseline lead, we want it to be 15 to 18 feet. Okay. Our stealing lead is beyond 18. All right. And so kind of know what that is, how many steps. I know for me what it is and how far off I can get. And like, here's my 15-foot lead, a little bit further and I'm gone. Right. So the rolling start that we want is kind of something like this, right? Where we get the feet moving a little bit as we get going. Oftentimes, pitchers have a tell when they're about to go to the plate, or that's one or two looks, or maybe something specific that they do where like they settle in, like, okay, they're going to the plate now. After they look, there may be like a thing. Okay. You got to look for those things, right? Like he could move the hips a little bit. It could be the slightest thing where he's getting ready and he's going to home plate. The other thing that we have to realize is that when we're stealing third, we're taking a risk that he's not going to inside move or spaghetti move us, right? It's a risk that we're willing to take. Okay. There's a saying amongst baseball that you don't want to make the first or last out at third. So just make sure if you're stealing third with no outs or with two outs, that you 100% are going to get to that back. The reason being is that we're already in scoring position with two outs. We don't need to get there. On a base hit, we should technically be able to score. Okay. And with no outs, we don't want to kill a rally. I'm already in scoring position again. Two ground balls gets me in. Okay. But back to stealing. The rolling start is the ideal way. But if we just kind of keep our feet moving, we can get going from here too. And this is going to be faster get going than from a dead stop at first, right? So as long as you're keeping your feet moving, we want to make sure that we're even with the bag as well. So I like to start a little bit behind the bag and just slowly creep into the baseline. Okay, like I have a little bit of a sideways angle. I'm creeping down into the baseline towards third base. Your two out lead, you're obviously going to be deep. Then you can really kind of get a walking, running lead into it because you're really, really deep. You start closer to second base from there. But generally speaking, just let's keep the feet moving, kind of pedal as we go, and try and get a walking lead into that steal to third, make it really, really. One other thing to keep in mind when we're stealing third is there a righty or lefty at the plate? All right. If there's a lefty, that's a really easy throw for the catcher. Okay. So that's probably taking a good half step, maybe a full step off of you getting to third base. Whereas a righty, the catcher's got to step behind and around that runner to throw you out instead of just catching and throwing, right? With a lefty up, really, really easy throw to third. So you have to get a huge jump if you're going to steal off of a lefty, off of the catcher when a lefty's hitting. Off of a righty, it can be a little bit easier, especially if the catcher's got poor footwork and he's not good at getting there. Probably take that base all day, not even with much of a lead or taking much of a risk at second base either, right? So there's some different things to consider. How slow or fast is the pitcher to the plate? How good is the catcher at throwing? Is there a righty or lefty up? Are the middle infielders keeping me close or not? Is going to kind of be able to allow you to extend your lead or stay closer and figure out what the safest spot is for you to be to take that next base.